For the week of November the 4th through to the 10th, 2024, we're talking the United States election, and I'm going to pose a question. What if nobody wins? I actually think we may be in one of those rare times where neither party is declared a winner, not maybe because there's a recount of ballots needed in one state, although that is indeed possible, but because neither party gets the required number of votes to win. In other words, there is a tie. Could this actually happen? Well, it has happened historically in the United States elections in the past. And so, yes, it could happen again. We're going to talk also about what is going on for your sign this week. We have Mars squaring Juno starting this week through till like the middle of the month. This is a time in which breakups happen in love relationships, business relationships, and in country alliances like treaties and peace treaties. Another thing that's going on is Venus and Neptune are coming into a square starting on Wednesday through to Sunday. This is where we get realistic and sober-minded about love and money, illusions, delusions, and dreamy fantasies. We're going to come down to earth with what's real, not what's imagined. And each of us in our own lives are going to face that challenge. I'm going to talk about this for your sign as well as we do the all signs portion of this video today. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Lori Lothian, and I am using the Western Tropical Zodiac and the whole sign house system. I love the fixed stars, minor asteroids, and I use astrology for myself and hopefully you to help you time your best life, to use astrology as simply a navigational tool, to go with the direction of the flow and not against it. Now, when it comes to big world events, we call that mundane astrology. I will be looking at the election features. I'm going to share a sort of overview of why I think this is one of the most muddy, most game-changing elections. Yes, I use that word again, of 2024, of any year in our recent memory in US election history. So I'm going to give you my reasons why. I'm going to also maybe take a peek at JD Vance's chart. People have asked me to do that. I want to explain something to you because I'm going to do a little confession mode. I'm going to give you a little confession. Laura's doing her confessional. But before I do my confessional, I just should tell you, my 2024 All Signs video sale is still on, pre-sale priced for 120 hours of video content, 2 hours for each sign for only $44. It's a yearly fundraiser. It helps me buy equipment for my channel, hire video editing staff, and all that kind of stuff. If you want to support the channel and you want to get this content, and you can buy individual signs as well. The pre-sale price ends November 15th, and it's all in my description box below. Now, and it's delivered to you November 17th. Now, here's my confessional box. Forgive me, Mother, for I have sinned. I haven't, but I did something I've never done. I'm pulling a video. I did a video that's going to go out Monday, and I'm recording this again on Sunday the 3rd to patch together 2 pieces because I am not comfortable putting out what I saw yesterday in the video I recorded 2 days ago. Now, my Patreon community has received that video, and in that video, I cast a divination chart called Horary with the question, who will win the election, using the rules of the Horary textbook by John Fowley. When I did this, it was a very difficult chart because every single rule he puts in there, this chart busted it. Like you couldn't do the delineations the way you should, which of the candidates of the 2 parties, and asking from I'm a foreigner, so I'm using 6th house, 12th house axis to represent the incumbent leader and the contesting party. Nothing worked. It worked, but it didn't work. It was kind of like you couldn't use the moon for the electorate because it didn't work because one of the candidates was the electorate. The moon was combust and out of dignity. That wasn't great for Kamala. Trump was also, delineated by a retrograde planet or a debilitated planet. Everything was a hot mess. Still, at the end of the Horary, okay, I got a stronger yes for Donald Trump. Now, I'm saying I'm confessing this, and I'm not going to put that video out there. I can't deal with the trolls. I don't know who should win this election. I'm not American. I don't vote in America. I haven't even voted in Canada. Up till age 62, I've been pretty apolitical. And the number of vitriolic, angry comments that I have received from the election panel I did with S.J. Anderson and a couple of other people, another astrologer who did a lot of deep dive research and noticed patterns in the sky. For example, S.J. Anderson noticed simply that when Saturn was in Pisces, the incumbent party held on to power. And that just happens to be where we are again. Like 90% of the time, the incumbent party holds on to power when Saturn is in Pisces, and Saturn in Pisces represents the opposing party to the ruler, the party in rulership in the US Sibley chart. And then Rena from AstroCuties did a ton of research about the nodes of fate relative to who's more likely to win. And Kamala, having the North Node of fate moving into her 10th house and already had the eclipse there in September, was the hands down winner versus where the eclipses are currently hitting Trump. And so then Mary's other factors to delineate, it looked like Kamala Harris had a stronger chance of winning. That said, my horary wasn't so clear. This is a divination tool. I asked a question. I used the chart at the time of my question as an active divination. You look at the astrology chart in a horary chart with a bunch of rules, like you would be reading tea leaves or tarot cards or bones or entrails of the sheep. Okay. So when I did that, I'm like, oh no, I can't put this thing out on Monday. Like I did put it to my Patreon community. I just can't imagine without a deeper explanation how that would roll, how I'll be trolled, how it will be a nightmare for my channel. I just can't go there, you know? So instead, this is what I did. I waited for a sign from the universe. I always wait for signs. And today, Cam White just popped up. Now, let me just say one thing. Way back in the day, like 4 or 5 videos out there, way behind me, starting in July, I started to say there may be an election with no clear winner, and it will have to go to the House and Senate to determine who will win. Now, that's the precedent in the United States in the case of a tie, or if there's a spoiler and there's not one party that has the 270 electoral votes needed to win. And I started saying maybe it's going to be one of those elections. There's a name for those kinds of elections. I can't remember what it's called, but it means that you have to take it to a vote from the Senate and from the House, and it has to be one vote from one state. Right, one vote from one state. And apparently the House, I think, can choose the president and the state can choose the vice president, which can't. And I talked about this in like 4 or 5 videos, July, August, September, July and August mostly, because I thought that's what might be happening. I kind of thought maybe it would be because RFK could be a spoiler and he could tip the scale so that there's not enough votes for Harris or Trump. But I still think it could happen. Okay. And so my synchronicity was Cam White comes on today and he's like talking and he's like, the guy's going like, I think it's going to be one of those elections that, there's no real clear winner. What's the name for that? There's a technical term for it. And I'm like, oh my God, that's what I was thinking all summer. And then my assistant, Cassidy, she's been helping me out with my back end of my research, comes on and texts me this morning. This is both Cam and then her. Did you see the Leo King? She said he predicted it might be one of those no clear winner electoral vote problems, and funny enough, I was going to have another woman on my channel. She's a brilliant astrologer. She's still going to come on, but she had hurricane problems the day of my election panel. And by using the minor asteroids, she determined the same thing, more or less. And she didn't get to come on my panel. It was like both parties will be declared a victor or not a victor. Like something's going on here that doesn't really mesh with a normal election cycle. So that's my confession. Let me talk about a few things in this sky that are a hot mess. I'll show you JD Vance's chart. He is a king in waiting. He is a king in waiting, and I'll show you why. Now, the Leo King said that, according to Cassidy, she sent me a screenshot of his predictions, a summary, that if it's not a electoral vote, indeterminate, which Senate and House must pick, which could lead to like Trump as the president and Kamala as the vice president, or vice versa. Wouldn't that be a trip for America? He also said that maybe it would be that Trump would be elected and Vance would become the king of America in the spring of 2025, maybe because Trump is sick or something, or Trump goes to jail, who knows? So I don't know it's that simple. I think there's going to be a lot of back and forth, and I'm going to show you in the next half hour why. And then we're going to go to the all signs, and I'm going to stick together the all signs portion that I recorded on another day and add the 30 minutes up front right here and right now. So shall we go and take a look at what I'm about to show you? I think we should. First of all, what makes this election gnarly as all hell? What makes it so bad that things could go right off the rails? Jupiter, Mercury, and Saturn are all retrograde. Retrograde planets mean that eventually they're going to change direction and turn around. This means that things that are in play may not stay as they are. This is also an interesting story because Jupiter retrograding in October, I think it was around the 10th, did what is called a reformation. Jupiter came close to Trump's sun, closer to Trump's sun than to Kamala's ascendant, and then backed off retrograde. This is a refrainment in horary techniques, and it means refraining from making the connection. But we'll come back later to coronate or make the connection. Technically, when Jupiter goes stations retrograde February the 4th or so, the first planet he'll touch is Trump's sun, not Kamala's ascendant. Trump's sun, 22 degrees of Gemini. Kamala's ascendant at 24 degrees of Gemini. A lot of astrologers saying they're lucky because they got Jupiter on the sun, Jupiter on their ascendant. No, they don't. It was never partile. It was never exact. So it looks to me like there's a refrainment from what? Jupiter, the winner, coronation, the king. Jupiter represents those energies. Having Mercury retrograde is not a good thing during the middle of an election story. Well, I mean, he's in the shadow period. So let's talk about what happens when Mercury goes retrograde. He's your ballot counter. He's your news cycle. He's your tabulator. He's your abacus. He's your final detailed results. He's in Sagittarius, and he's in detriment. He's in a sign of his exile, as well as Jupiter in a sign of his detriment. They're in each other's houses. Jupiter's exiled from his Mercury-ruled Gemini home. I mean, Mercury's exiled from his Gemini-ruled home where Jupiter sits, and vice versa. Jupiter sitting in Mercury sitting in Sagittarius is across the way, Jupiter's house. So this is an interesting mutual reception, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's good. It means they're working in debility in each other's homes where they're not comfortable. So we have that problem, but Mercury also has something called his shadow zone, and that's where things get really, really tricky. Mercury enters his shadow on November the 7th. Mercury in shadow means he is going to begin to move into zones of influence that he has to retrace his steps. So basically, Mercury at 6 degrees of Sagittarius on November 7th, right? Then goes retrograde at 22 degrees of Sagittarius on November 25th, 6th, time zone dependent. And then stations direct at 6 degrees of Sag. Remember, that's where he started off on December 15th. And then on January 2nd hits 22 degrees of Sag, the end of the shadow zone. The retrograde zone is complete. This means between November the 7th and January the 2nd, things that Mercury's up to, like deciding how many ballots and who gets what, are in play. If we had a situation where the Senate and the House had to determine who the winner was, it will take a long time. My partner did some research and found out that it was like 35 ballot counts in 1800 when this happened. Before the final result happened, they had to keep doing not ballot counts, electoral counts in the House or the Senate. They kept going back to vote again because they couldn't get consensus. And so ultimately, that could be very much what this is, because on November 7th, when Mercury enters the shadow zone, we are just a mere 2 days after the election. If we're only 2 days after the election, you're going to still see ballots being counted. It won't be determined quite yet. And if it is, it'll be a muddle. So we know that Mercury's debility is one thing in Sagittarius, but then his retrograde is another debility. And Mercury goes backwards. Mercury is the ruler of Kamala Harris's 60th age of profection. So her ruler of her profection age is in a hot damn mess. Saturn is, by the way, the ruler of Trump's profection age. Saturn is retrograde as this election takes place. Both of them have debilitated rulers during an election. All right. Saturn will go direct on November the 15th. This is Donald Trump's ruler of his 7th house profection age. This is good for him. Things can go smoother. Saturn is moving forward. But at the same time on November the 15th, oh no, we have a full moon in Taurus on Algol conjunct Uranus. It is a hot Taurus mess. This is a shock and awe, Algol, off with her head, Medusa star energy. This is the same energy that really shocked the world when Donald Trump was almost assassinated. Yes, I predicted that might happen around the July 15th timeframe when Mars and Uranus were perfectly conjunct on Algol on Donald Trump's midheaven, high noon. So, well, Donald Trump benefits from Saturn heading direct on November the 15th. At the same time, the very same day, a shocking lunation occurs, that full moon on Taurus, 15th of November, up there at the top of the sky, around right on Algol, right up the. Who else has this midheaven pretty close to Algol? J.D. Vance. What other countries do? Well, we won't get into that. That's the son of the nation of Israel in the national chart. But I would say, and it is the Jupiter of Kamala Harris. So Kamala Harris is Jupiter in the 12th house of backroom deals and negotiations, and Donald Trump's midheaven and J.D. Vance's midheaven are all going to be activated by the Uranus full moon, Uranus infused full Taurus moon, with the shock of Uranus and the difficulty of the decapitation, losing one's head. In politics, losing one's head is to lose one's titular head, to no longer be the head of state. And therefore, there is that energy hitting Kamala's Jupiter, Donald Trump's midheaven, and peripherally, J.D. Vance's midheaven. J.D. Vance is a mini-me to Donald Trump. He's literally a carbon copy chart. It's kind of weird. Mars in Leo opposes Pluto November 19th. Again, I'm pointing out what a difficult month this is, why November changes everything in my November All Signs video overview. You know, Mars in Leo is about kings and cutting and war between kings. Leo is royalty, and opposing Pluto in Aquarius, because Pluto moves into Aquarius on November 19th, allowing for that early degree Mars around 2 or 3 degrees to form in opposition. So now we're really in the thick of intensity. There is a degree-based opposition, but not a sign-based opposition during the election. The Cancer-Capricorn axis was active, and then the day of the election no longer is, the day before, indeed. So when we look at astrology, we like to see sign-based oppositions as opposed to astronomical oppositions. So when Mars is in Leo and opposes Pluto, he will be in an exact opposition on January the 7th. All right, January the 7th, there will be an exact opposition between Mars in Leo and Pluto in Aquarius. And those are very intense energies the first week of January before inauguration, but inauguration, schmauguration, what's going on? Maybe it's vote counting. You know, I think the normal like electoral college grand finale after the election is usually around the 17th or so of December, you know, when the vote went normal and they're going to like ratify the votes, that kind of thing. I believe it might be at that time around December 15th, 16th, 17th. That's also with the shock and awe full moon time frame, and Mars in Leo opposing Pluto on the 19th. So there might be a derailing of the process, perhaps. And finally, another reason I don't think this is any normal election is Jupiter second square. Oh, I didn't put the date down on the board. I'm sorry. Jupiter's second square to Saturn. Now, what is this about and why does it matter? So Jupiter was in a square to Saturn on the 19th of August. On the 19th of August, it was a Democratic National Convention week, okay? Jupiter was in the shadow to the square, or in the shadow, you know, because of retrogradation, in essence, impacting this idea of a square to Saturn as early as mid-July. And that also included Donald Trump almost being assassinated. So this thing that happened with Saturn square Jupiter energetically, I mean, being an orb. So Saturn was close to being an orb, July 15th, 14th, of a square to Saturn that perfected on August 19th during the Democratic National Convention. But things that happened in July with Trump and with Kamala have to be readdressed in a retrograde Saturn square. Okay, again, square. Jupiter Saturn square in December. And I'm going to give you the exact dates of that because I have it written down here in my notes somewhere. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I wrote it down. Do I have to go digging around for it again? I'll give you the dates. Let's go into my back end of my software again and take a look. So the point of that is that we're coming back to address it yet again. This whole idea is back again for are perusal. Trump almost being killed, Saturn square Jupiter. And Jupiter and Saturn are about governments and power and electorate bodies of institutional structures, including commerce, not usually about individuals. I'll get you the date for the second Jupiter Saturn square in December that refreshes the screen on the July Trump assassination energetics, as well as Kamala Harris being nominated at the Democratic National Convention. Let me grab the data set for us right now. So December the 24th, day before Christmas. Okay. So this is like, we have to go back and finish something that wasn't finished. Things got off to a false start. That's the energy of a false start. So Jupiter will again Jupiter will square Saturn. Jupiter is in detriment. Jupiter is in Gemini. Jupiter is retrograde. And he's going to square direct motion Saturn. Now, Saturn is the planet that rules Donald Trump and is in a stronger condition by going in direct motion. Jupiter is having Saturn as a house guest in his Pisces domicile. So Jupiter will try to favor Saturn. And we're going to talk about that in terms of how this might look if no clear winner is available due to a tie or a failure for either one to get the 270 electoral votes. One last factor I want to talk about, I'll show you the sky and then we'll get to all signs. Mars is also retrograding, as I mentioned in the beginning, and Mars has a huge shadow retrograde period. Mars moved into the retrograde shadow zone on October the 4th. Okay, and doesn't leave the shadow retrograde till May the 2nd. This is overlapping a Mars retrograde during an election cycle. This is very important because this is also going to indicate areas of concern and redo, because Mars is retrograding at 6 Leo, the sign of rulers and kings. It indicates this will affect things going forward and then going backward during this election season to do with rulers and kings. So Mars will go retrograde on December the 6th at 6 degrees of Leo. And that's before that electoral college, before the, like they do that thing where they ratify the winner. And, he goes retrograde on 6 degrees of Leo, backs into Cancer on January the 6th, and does not go direct until he gets to 17 degrees of Cancer on February the 23rd. In fact, if you want to screenshot this for this hot mess, I had this for another video for, not that one. Let me get the one I want to show you. You can screenshot this for your own usage. Okay. Did it work? Yes. Take a screenshot. This is the hot mess of Mars. Okay. This is why, what the hell? Mars went to the retrograde shadow October the 4th, doesn't get out of the shadow to May the 2nd. How long does it take to get a president elected? But this is what he's doing. Direct September 4th into Cancer. Then he had into Leo November the 4th, right? And so Mars and Leo is just during this actual election. So the election's on the 5th. So this, whatever he's up to, it involves the USA election. Then he retrogrades December 6th, 6 Leo, right, into Cancer on January 6th, direct February 27th at 17 Cancer. Finally, Leo April 18th is when he is done the whole story of Cancer and moves into Leo, but does not until May 2nd cross the shadow zone where he started this whole story. Finally, let's go look at the chart and maybe peek at JD Vance if you want. I don't want to make this too long because I've got to stick together 2 videos and I got to keep this one pretty close to 30 minutes. So it was just to let you know, I think there may be the kind of election where there's no clear winner. And because of the synchronicities for Cam White and the Leo King from my assistant today, I believe I'm going to go back to what I was saying in July and August, which is why the Horary was so inconclusive, yet it seemed to favor Trump. So it's like they both win or they both don't win. And in the end of the day, who is the final one in the main seat? Maybe one's VP and one's president. And that's why they both look like winners. JD Vance, this is his natal sky. Let's say a couple of things. He's a mini me for Donald Trump. His ascendant is in Leo on Donald Trump's ascendant and on Donald Trump's Mars. His Venus is on Donald Trump's Mars. It makes it for a sexy time between the two of them. His sun is in the back seat of his ascendant. And so that involves the potential for past lives as a king or ruler, but also that he could acquire that again in this lifetime. And up here, you see his midheaven at 22 degrees of Taurus is close enough to Algol to count. I mean, Algol is at 26 degrees now, I think, but Donald Trump has a Algol midheaven at 24, and it's much tighter, but it's still in the Algol zone, the star that's going to be a part of that shock and awe Taurus full moon, mid-November. This is Hermes, the messenger of the gods, also the trickster, but also the one with hermetic wisdom. And this little asteroid also denotes people who are messengers or writers. And of course, he wrote a book. Boy, he really is a writer. This is Lucifer, the angel who was a fallen angel because he rebelled against the rules of heaven. It delineates as somebody who wants to bust out of the normative and be a rule breaker, but shine a bright light or a torch. Now, you may not agree with J.D. Vance's politics and stance, right? But that's how it looks for him. And as well, so the mini me is he's ascendant Leo and a midheaven Taurus, almost in the same places as Donald Trump. So he's definitely the mini for Donald Trump. And you might notice as well in his chart that he has the moon in the house of joy in the sign of Libra library books. And I didn't write it in here, but the moon is on the asteroid Logos, and Logos is about the word. And so therefore he is definitely a communicator and a natural born writer. That's his mom, and that's his difficult mother Pluto toxic story. His mother was an addict, and he wrote a book about his terrible childhood and the abusive childhood he had. And this is Logos. Oh, Logos is on Venus, sorry, but Venus is the goddess of the arts, and that's why I thought that really applied to somebody who wishes to write. But also Logos can be, and then, in the beginning, God was, this, and God spoke the word. I mean, it's very biblical, the word Logos as well. And he is a somewhat of a traditionalist. I don't know if he's deeply religious. What I want to show you in a timely manner, very timely, quick, is I want to take your attention right away here to one simple thing. It is his solar arc directions. I call it God's clock. And I think it tells the tale for him. Without explaining the whole technique, his midheaven is at 0 degrees of Cancer during the last year that he was up-leveled into high-level politics. 0 degrees means a new beginning. However, also in Cancer is the sun of the United States of America. And right now, his north node of destiny is conjunct the USA sibling chart. This is his time to be in a career connected to the United States of America and its solar energy, its leaders, its purpose, its founding fathers. His sun is at 19 degrees in solar arc time, and it will be in a perfected connection to that midheaven, but not yet. Right? For that to happen, it's going to be 19 to 23 years away. His time is a king in waiting. I do not believe his time has come, but in the next 3 years, so the next election, he will be running. So he's a king in waiting. I don't see him being crowned king in this time frame, but I see it coming down the pipeline for him. Indeed, his node of fate will be more precisely on the Sibley sun in about 2 to 3 years than it is right now. Again, he's destined to go into mini-me mode, be a second Donald Trump, and likely run for office in the next election. I don't know if he's going to win. He actually might win. All right. So there's a talk about Kamala Harris making it as a 2-term president. I'm not sure about that because that's based on her zodiacal releasing. One way to look at the lens of astrology for famous people who are in power is to take the aspects from the mindset of a horary. They're no longer individuals. They are like beyond being a person anymore. They are a force for the world. They're like emblematic, iconic figures. So I don't know that zodiacal releasing for Harris outruns things like, what I'm seeing here. The solar arc time is I call it God's clock, and it really delineates where and when we have great success and why. And it's timed out for our whole life. And some things will never happen in our lives. We'll never experience it. Well, it won't live to see the tale. It depends on our sky. And he's getting a king in waiting in this chart as far as I can tell. All right. So that's all I have for you there. I got to cut this off so that I can splice my videos. Don't troll me. I'm saying something very different happens. I don't think it's just a lot of hanging chads like Gore Bush. I don't think it's at that level. I might be wrong, but I wish I could remember the name of the way it is when the election is undecided because no one won enough electoral votes, but they're a contingent election. And thank you to Cam White for bringing my attention to that thought that I had all summer long and saying, what the heck, why am I not looking at that again? Because I had assumed that it would be RFK that would cause that to happen. I didn't realize it could even happen without an RFK, just by the way the states split and who gets which state. Alrighty. What a weird week ahead. Even if it's not what I think it is, it's not a slam dunk. We're going to walk away and say, this is the winner. I don't think it's just a petulant Donald Trump and a MAGA movement or, disconsolate, Democrats all having a fight about it and trying to, recount the ballots 100 times. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that at all. It's something else. All right. I'll let you know. Let me know. And your sign is not about this stuff, obviously. Your sign is about how to deal with Venus and Neptune in a square in this week ahead. All right. Take care, everybody. And I'll see you in the spliced video. So that's what I've got. I'm shocked I'm saying this. I'm going to have to say on my title of my video, Lori's final say on the election, shocking outcome. Because honestly, up until this point, just using traditional astrology tools like solar arcs, perfection ages, maybe zodiacal releasing to some degree, it could look like a Kamala win. But it's not great for either of them in any of those indicators. It's like, who has the least worst chart, Kamala Harris or Donald Trump? Okay, holy man. So now I'm sweating bullets because, poor Brian Coulter came up with the same conclusion for different reasons, and he's not a MAGA hat, nor am I. And we're going to be the outliers for all of the other Western astrologers who are 2 thumbs up on Kamala, including my election panel that came out recently. Again, who wins the election does not mean it is who is inaugurated. And that's a part of the tricky thing with this question. Let's go ahead and do all signs. Don't forget, I'm going to talk to you about your sign and what to do with this Venus-Neptune trine. What do we know about Venus and Neptune? Well, Venus is love and beauty and art, kindness, peace, and friendship. Neptune's confusion, delusion, illusion, higher noble values, spiritual enlightenment, unconditional love, and oceanic consciousness. According to Ren Butler in his amazing book, The Archetypal Universe, I just had dinner with Ren last week. I'll be sending pictures to you guys. A sweet and sensitive nature, endearing gentleness and grace, spiritual ideals in love and relationship, feelings of melted ecstasy and devotion for the beloved. He even has oceanic sex in there. But, this is a flowing energy, and this is not a flow. This is a square. So the shadow or the darker elements of this will be vulnerability, codependence, romantic illusions, confusions, deception, over idealization in relationships, leading to disappointment. For the world, of course, the disappointment could be about a world player on the stage who is Venus female, or some delusions going on in our political world. And let me see what else he has to say. Really, Venus Neptune stuff can be like disappointment, dissatisfaction with the unattainable, impossible yearnings, inability to accept the ending of relationships, unconsummated love, yearning, what do you call it? Unrequited love. An oath of love simply has no force is a quote he has here. Yin, weakness, vulnerability, unclear boundaries, and deceptions in relationships. But in our own lives, Neptune, Venus can be highly creative, even in a square. It can push us to new edges in our creativity, in our imaginings. Yes, it can dispel some illusions, especially with Neptune retrograde, but we're going to try to cover each sign. And oh my God, I cannot believe that in my delineation, I'm only a medium horary, but I was using the Frowley book. I was literally following his instructions, And even when I think about that moon moving faster than the sun, the moon is 4 degrees ahead of the sun, which means her position with the sun, which means leader, is 4 months behind us. And that's exactly it. July, August, September, October, she was coronated the de facto Queen of America when Biden stepped away, and the candidate for the next queenship. And she is literally in a condition where that power of the sun is behind her, not in front of her. So if she was in the heart of the sun perfectly, that would be a Kazemi, a perfect new moon, and that would be different. That would be positive. This is not that. She's burning up under the sun in the house of death, and she is in a state of fall with the electorate. Of course, the electorate would be in a state of fall. If Trump was going to win, there's going to be 1/2 the population, and particularly the female population, in a state of mourning. I should be looking for the lot of grief. Let me go check the lot of grief. I couldn't get the lot of grief. The software doesn't have one, but I do actually have the asteroid Grieve. And I thought we'd just look at that before we go ahead and do the all signs. Okay, sorry if this is taking forever, guys. But I mean, oh yeah, Okay, so we have Salacia, by the way, the asteroid Salacia that tracks through the sky right now. I didn't put it in on the North Node for scandal, all right, scandal. So we have a lot of energy for scandalous outcomes during this week ahead on the node of fate right now. Here is this particular asteroid here. Oh, that's not the right one. Sorry, the software did not hold, and so just ignore that one. That's not the one I meant to put in. That's not the one I meant to put in. Where did it go? I'm looking for the asteroid Grieve. Yes, you can't make this stuff up. When you're looking for something, it doesn't show up. So let me go back. I clicked Grieve, but it didn't hold. That's strange as F. You know what I mean? So there we have it, Grieve. So the asteroid Grieve is sitting here at 23 degrees of Virgo. In Kamala Harris's natal chart, that's conjunct her Venus, okay, in her fourth house of homeland, property, private life, domestic life. So it also represents women, but in Kamala Harris's chart, that's where Grieve is sitting on her Venus as we go through this current transit. And asteroid Grieve in the sign of Virgo is also in a broad square to Venus in the real-time sky, which represents a woman or women grieving for difficult circumstances. And this is Donald Trump down here. Also square asteroid Grieve. Everybody's got a little bit of grieving going on. You know, I don't know what's going on with the sky. Let's go ahead and do all signs. Let's get the heck out of the sky and move to you. We're going to go straight ahead and do Aries, and we'll get rolling through the week ahead. All righty. Hopefully this is Aries, sun, moon, and rising sign. And let's make sure that we have cleared something here. I want to put this back to recently used. I want to get the chart into the mode that we're out of regimentanus and we're in whole signs for sure. And also I want to go into the whole sign system. There we go. Aries, sun, moon, and rising sign. You know, Venus is in a condition where we may have some disappointment this week ahead. We're talking Wednesday through Sunday, or disillusionment regarding things that are our ninth house. She is in a square to Neptune, rolling back the tide and helping you see what's underneath the surface of matters that have to do. Even though the week starts strong, I meant to mention there's a nice Sun trine Saturn, good for chunky money, inheritance money, good for shared monies with a spouse, good for money generated from international sources and revenue. That's Monday, Tuesday. But then we go Thursday through to Saturday, and we're going to notice that Venus is going to have a quality of dispelling some illusions around ninth house situations. It could be court matters, third marriage environments, disillusionment within a third marriage. In other words, a disillusionment or a realistic tide pulls back, dispelling of something to do with a dreamy approach to higher education, colleges, campuses, and universities, the book publishing industry, and anything to do with your spiritual faith. And because Neptune's in an enlightenment house and Venus is in a house of God, for some of you, there could be this kind of rage at the machine, anger, disillusionment, dispelling of some fantastical version of God that you had in your mind, like some kind of disillusionment with a person in the ninth house. Could be a spiritual teacher, a guide, a coach, a mentor. And if you have any of these people in your life, you may feel a sense of, the rose-colored glasses just got taken off. You can really see now, Wednesday through to Sunday, what it is you need to see. Or any foreign person could be, especially a foreign female, could be a source of disillusionment for you. Because Athena is up here and she is the natural lawyer and of the zodiac. Trust me about this. I've learned it through my practice. Legal matters can be very disappointing or disillusioning for you Wednesday through Sunday. So what to do about it? Well, Neptune is in the enlightenment house, guys. It's like, let go, let God, surrender, find your true self, oceanic oneness with all things. Love, compassion, and harmony can come from Neptune at the highest octave. And so surrender. My advice to you is simply surrender. This is not an easy sky if you are expecting God to give you everything you need or want. Because there is something about it that says, wait, what is there that you really, really need? It's the old Rolling Stone song. You don't always get what you want, but you get what you need. That's what this feels like for you, especially when it comes to third marriages, love in a foreign place, foreign source love, money from book publishing or court or legal wins that may be disappointing. It's not that you won't get any money from a court determination, but you may not be getting what you really, really wanted. Alrighty. So keeping that in mind, I would say it's good to walk away. I just drew the card, the Eight of Cups, emotional surrender, walk away from the situation, allow yourself to let go. Taurus, Venus is the ruler of your sky. She is in Sagittarius with her bow and arrow. Feisty girl she is. This is your chunky money. It belongs to other people. You share it with the bank, the credit card, the husband, the business partnership, or the inheritance outcomes. This kind of money is unearned. This is the money that she's glowing you up with, Taurus. Maybe you actually had an investment take off. You and your spouse's money is doing better than usual. Shared resources are on the rise. But then we come into this disillusionment window of time. This is when Venus is going to square Neptune this week. And it starts to be after a good start. I keep forgetting to say Monday, Tuesday, you don't mind sun, right? In your marriage house with Juno, the goddess of marriage, and long-term committed business and love partnerships flowing to Saturn, helping you stabilize something to do with your long-term love relationship or business partnerships as it applies to social groups of belonging. But when we move out of that story, and that's just a 2-day feel good, right? Just 2 days. Maybe something good happening in the life of your partner and their own career gains as well. Monday, Tuesday, business or love partner. But then when we get through to Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday through to Sunday, then you start to feel like somebody's like asking you to take off those rose-colored glasses and really squarely look at something to do with your social life and your friends, as well as things to do with darker and more difficult circumstances of betrayal, abandonment, shame or difficulty, or even financial challenges you may be encountering with a sibling, one older than you, with inheritance monies, with a sibling, one older than you, this is one older than you sibling. This is the house of inheritances, because there's like a monetary energy here most of the time. Eight houses, 8 and 11 involve finances. So you may have even just a financial problem with a friend, or your dues are due, because the groups that you belong to are here, and the tennis club or the Biffy and Buffy at the country club, they want your dues, and you're going like, I don't want to spend that money. Or you have a health club and you belong to it, but suddenly you realize you're disillusioned by what you're getting for your money. So there's some kind of financial sort of come to Jesus clarity that you're looking to see here, and make some decisions around that because of this no longer being sort of in a fog of dreamy hope, but actually looking at what's true and real. That's the retrograde of Neptune. He's less delusional and more trying to show you something than he is trying to get the fog machine rolling for you. It could end a relationship as well through a revelation of a secret involving a friend, because Mercury is also the dispeller of news and information and secrets, and an end of a friendship, being disillusioned with that friend through hearing something that you didn't know. It's something that may happen. It's like a soap opera today, don't I? Thursday through to Sunday. Oh, I'm going to draw a card for everybody, actually, because it's like, what else can I do with this kind of sky? It's not happy. And then there's the 10 of Cups, which is a joy card, happiness, happy family, happy everybody, emotional satisfaction, getting kind of that dreamy, perfect life that you want. Sounds like the advice might be by letting go of some illusion regarding an elder sibling, a friend, or monetary issues with these people, or a club or group of belonging, you can enjoy a lot more life satisfaction. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising sign. It is a sky that says Venus is squaring Neptune. Venus is in your 7th house. Oh, happy Monday, Tuesday. I keep forgetting. Happy Monday, Tuesday. Good things are going on, Gemini, in work. You're like at the top of your game. Sun in the house of work is flowing to Saturn at the top of the sky. I'm a progressed Gemini sun. This video goes out Monday. Maybe you guys won't kill me in the comments for the Horary says Trump looks better than Kamala. Not that either of them look particularly great. I'm still worried about his health, but nonetheless, it's a good career move time. It's like things going on in your work and work environment flow to establishing yourself as an expert authority at the top of your game with a nearly stationary Saturn. So you have a couple of days, Monday, Tuesday, things look good in career and work matters. And you may even make some new career contracts or agreements with other people here, getting hired, hiring an employee or something like that, or making new agreements for work. Then we move away from that and we get Thursday through Sunday. And now we have the Venus square. Venus squaring Neptune is, where are you going to be in a state of disillusionment regarding a relationship in your life? Most likely it can be a business partnership or a love relationship, or even with your audience marketplace. And this Venus is having to, you're going to lean into what may be a bit of a disappointment or unfulfillment of some expectation in context to a significant other in your life. Because Neptune's at the top of the sky, there also can be some definitely disillusionments regarding work matters and career and reputation matters. But this is also maybe connected to the way your audience perceives you. Because with Venus here, you can be popular with your audience. And now maybe your audience is not going to be as enchanted by you. So you guys are going to hate on me because of the Trump prediction, progress Gemini sun. Yeah, there you go. Maybe I'll call it right, but be hated. I don't know. It looks like a rough week for my popular public appeal as a progress Gemini sun. But, guys, this is your significant other. And if you have any relationship, I wouldn't start with something new under this. But if you're in a relationship, there could be sort of a disappointment or a disillusionment your partner is having as well. Venus is in the house of the other, and they may be going through some kind of taking their rose-colored glasses off about you and your reputation vis-a-vis them. Cancer, sun, moon, and rising. Monday, Tuesday, happy days are here for now. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, sun will be in a trine relationship to Saturn in your ninth house. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, you feel good. You feel good about things to do with how your vital force energy and the things that are going on with your children. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday are celebratory, are happy, are wonderful. And in fact, Cancer, you're ready also to have a good time around your grandchildren if you have them. And so grandchildren and children are getting a really nice vibe for you. It feels very auspicious, lucky, and juicy for you. And if you're doing anything entrepreneurial, you have creative projects, that fifth house sun could give you a new contract agreement or vow to some creative project endeavor being published in the ninth house of book publishing and any kind of publication of creative projects. For instance, a podcast gets published, for example. Oh, it could be a dreamy book publishing contract for writers who are Cancer, sun, moon, and rising. Now, as we get going, this is not what is easy. This is Venus in a square relationship, which is difficult. Oh, I forgot to draw a card for Gemini. Sorry. A square relationship, which is difficult. And this is like, where are you going to face some sort of disappointment or disillusionment regarding matters to do with your work? Sixth house, your health or your pets, or rental property matters as a tenant or a landlord, or employer-employee relationships. And now the square to Neptune, Neptune's in the ninth house, which is like spiritual stuff, God, temples, preachers, but also foreign lands, foreign shores, and visas, and situations to do with work and work colleagues and co-workers from foreign shores or foreign places could be up in the air here, or there's some kind of disillusionment that's welcome, I think, because Neptune is like literally in the house of God and he is an enlightenment planet. Maybe you're seeing through the mist and the fog regarding a situation to do with a pet and the word heaven. Yes, the ninth house is the house of heaven, not the mid-heaven, but like going to heaven, right? And maybe you're going to find that you are experiencing realism around a lifespan of a pet that may be ready to pass to heaven, especially with Venus in a broad square to Saturn, this in the house of heaven. This would be an elder pet. So some of you facing challenges with an elder pet, maybe a passing of an elder pet could be, or a sickness with an elder pet could be happening for a reality check for some of you coming up soon. Like, this is Wednesday through to Sunday. Sorry, life is filled with real life, Oh, and a card for you. I'm sorry. And a card for the Cancer. Sorry, Geminis. Sorry about that. The card you get is the Queen of Cups. Use your intuition, settle into your emotional resilience. Be willing to, feel the feels in a positive and healthy way. Leo, sun, moon, and rising sign. The sky this week starts strong with the sun trine Saturn. You feel it Sunday through Tuesday. This is where everything is coming up roses for you and for me and for everyone to do with family of origin stories. This is your mom, your dad, especially dad. It's sun in the here. New good things going on for dad to do with perhaps breaking through situations of difficulty in your father or father figure's life. Otherwise, the sky opens up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday with potentially some solid gains in your money you share with a spouse, money you get through tax rebates, inheritances, money you can acquire from an elder in particular in a bequeathment setting. This is land, property, and real estate. So contracts and agreements. Maybe Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, some things come up for some redefinition of your mortgage, refinancing in a positive way, receiving some money from an elder in your family system, maybe even realigning your tax structures as well as your real estate life in positive and flowing and lucky ways. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Then we move into the harder part of the sky, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Venus starts to have a really tense square to Neptune, and she is at the tail end of your fifth house of creativity, children, and money. So if you have some kind of money situation involving a child, particularly around debts and indebtedness, there may be a moment of reality check. You're never going to get the money back. Or if you are in a romantic partnership, a reality check as a secret truth is revealed about this romantic partner and the romance itself. Or maybe because Venus is in a house that has to do with good fortune, some fortunate, fun things are happening to do with money, luck. Mercury is the game of chance guy, but Neptune is like, look at this realistically. There's something about being realistic about some good fortune coming your way, not having a sort of pie in the sky, head in the clouds approach to that money. And maybe that's exactly what you need. It's not to have a pie in the sky, but to be practical and realistic about any kind of good fortune that could look like, with that Mercury game of chance, Venus, goddess of lottery wins here, just having a more realistic approach to winning money and what you can do or not do with that financial gain that could come to you this week. Okay. Not every Venus Neptune square will be negative, but it will be about being realistic. Okay, that's what I've got for you. Let's pull out a card for you. Same with money. You might owe a sex partner, romantic partner, or money issues with them that could come up. And you're going to be really realistic. Wait a minute, this person's never going to get a job. Okay, fast moving change. It's the Knight of Wands. A lot of stuff is going on rather quickly, rather swiftly for you. Well, that kind of makes sense. Mars just moved into your sign. You becoming the Martian guy here. He will have moved in there on the 4th. And so, holy man, this is indicating you're going to be rapidly moving forward on some situation. And hey, with Pluto in the 6th house of debts, I think you're going to have an opportunity as well to maybe rapidly pay off a debt. If you have a credit card debt or a mortgage debt or something, you might be able to eliminate that debt really, really quickly. I'm going to go with that. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising sign. Let's start off by, did I draw a card for the other guys? Yeah, rapid moving. You're going to have a beginning of the week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, with feeling good. Saturn retrograde in the 7th house is trying to deepen and stabilize a long-term relationship, as he also challenges to make sure the relationship does not have a leaky bottom to the boat. And as this retrograde is stationing to turn around mid-November, I can't wait to do that video for you guys. Basically, you're getting ready to really commit, stabilize a foundation of long-term committed love. If you're single, you may start dating someone 6 to 7 years younger or older than you, and you may also stabilize a relationship that's new, even if it's just started off with a kind of commitment vows in the early stages. Now, here's the deal. This square from Neptune, Venus to Neptune, is in the property, homeland, and real estate part of your sky. And this is legal contracts. So really eyeball any legal contracts to do with property, buying, selling, purchasing kind of things. You might not see the fine print. You might have a overly unrealistic expectation like, oh, it's all a dream come true. However, similarly, Is it a dream come true when you think you want to cohabitate, have fun, and enjoy your nest with your significant other? There can be some tension here this week with a significant other coming through as, what you both want to do, or what you both think is fun, enjoyable, and pleasurable in the home, including decorating the home. So, like, I'm not going to overdo this one. It could be that you want to buy some stuff to decorate a home, or you want to buy a beautiful home together. And there's a disillusionment, disappointment with how your partner is receiving this. They may not be like so entranced and enchanted about the whole idea, especially Mercury, buying and selling home, buying and selling things and possessions for the home, on and on it goes. So it's just a small glitch in the matrix here. Wednesday through Sunday, some tension with significant other and home-based matters and pleasure. And that would include sexual matters as well. Oh my goodness. All right, Libra, sun, moon, and rising sign. The sky is opening up the beginning of this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, with a trine to Saturn, which you're going to like. You will like it. Everyone will. And it just feels like you've got some handle on your money and your earnings and your possessions vis-a-vis your work. So work and money things feel really optimistic and good, as well as health and dietary changes Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. But then you're going to move out of that and into that tension between Venus and Neptune. Wait, I didn't draw a card for Virgo, did I? Sorry. Every now and then I'm going to forget a sign. I apologize. Sorry. And I'm not really normally drawing cards. I just got in the mood today. I'm not sure I'm going to put this video out. So you're going to say to yourself, Wednesday through Sunday, the feeling is arising that there is some kind of rose-colored glasses coming off regarding work opportunities, job settings, workaday style, like your daily health and work routines, especially with Venus in the house of like the gym, the neighborhood establishments. She wants pleasure, by the way. She wants, let's go to a bar that we really like. Let's go to a restaurant that we really enjoy. Let's go to a workout club that we have fun at. And then there's this kind of like dispelling of some delusion or illusion about it. That could be quite a reality check as you begin to see Neptune in the workhouse, maybe kind of saying, you don't have all that much time for this stuff. We got some hard ass Saturn work to do here. So work and pleasure in the local neighborhood environment, or some disillusionment perhaps regarding situations to do with a pet and a neighbor, a pet and a neighbor, or a younger sibling, aunt, uncle, cousin, and some situation to do with their health and some kind of sort of disturbance in the ether coming through Thursday through Sunday. It wouldn't be a good time to accept a new job in a local setting, like, joining, getting a local job application accepted, because there's some illusion or disillusionment that will be built into this new job, just so you know. And your card is choices, the Two of Pentacles. You're making some decisions this week. Looks like decisions connected to work matters. Oh, I forgot to mention, and travel. You want to go on a dreamy getaway, a ski chalet weekend with your beloved, but the work situation isn't letting it happen. So this is like, oh, I'm so disillusioned, or I'm so like, what a reality check. This work is taking more of my time, energy, and wellness, emotional wellness than I thought it would. Whew. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising is 5:22, and I haven't had my wine. Like, Scorpio, let's get going. We have a story that simply tells me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're quite happy. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, you're quite happy. This is because the sun is going to flow to Saturn. Really good for you in your long-term committed romantic love life, feeling good, feeling strong with your creative projects, entrepreneurial businesses, and relationships with your own children are formidably strengthened in a positive, optimistic way as this week begins. But by Thursday, we get Venus into the square through to Sunday, Wednesday through to Sunday, even. You're feeling Venus in the house of spending, money, possessions, savings, resources financially, Mercury spending, or selling and buying. And there's a square to Neptune. So Neptune is like, the rose-colored glasses have left you when it comes to your art, your creativity, your children, and your romantic life. Venus is saying, it's about the money, honey. There's something about finances and romance, finances and children, finances and creativity and creative projects that has got your attention, and you're being more realistic. It could even be you want to buy a bunch of new art supplies, and then because Venus is going to spend it with Mercury there, or sell one of your art projects, and you're now getting a reality check about what you can command in the marketplace or what you can afford for your art supplies. That kind of thing is going on here. Now, here we have the cards for you. And I would not start a new relationship under this either. Venus square Neptune and broad square to Saturn bakes in challenges. Oh, it is the strength card, power, lust, wealth, etc. It is a money card, strength as well. So it's an number 8, which is a money number. So you've got a little bit going on to do with lust, which is the 5th house. 2nd house is money. So money, lust, and power stories are dominating here for you. Because you are Scorpio and Mars is your ruler, Mars has just moved into your 10th house, and you're going to work your ass off over the next 2 months. You're going to be either quitting your job or working hard. I'd say you don't even have time to focus on your love life. And maybe that's where this Venus, see, you're making money. And we have this, Mars trine Venus energy. So you're passionately increasing your financial wellness one way or the other. It's almost like you don't have time for the simple pleasures of life and the people with whom you would spend that pleasurable time with. That is going to be a bit of a reality check, okay, as we go through this week ahead, Thursday through Sunday. And a card for you guys. A card for, I did give you a card, didn't I? Strength. Dough. Oh, Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising. Sunday through Tuesday. Happy times are here. Solar energy in your 12th house, flowing, beautifully shining upon a retrograde Saturn. Good things are going on for Sagittarius regarding foreign land travel, home, property, real estate, land. Some domestic situation resolving itself through your interior circumspection about it, removing yourself from family curses and self-undoing, self-sabotaging habits and patterns that come from childhood. Good soul work stuff in the beginning of the week. But then you go forward and you're starting to think about what you have to do with this Venus-Neptune problem starting on Wednesday through Sunday. Venus is kind of like got her arms crossed, right? You are Venus, and you're looking at life through the lens of beauty, love, friendliness, peace, kindness. And you're looking over at Neptune, who's retrograding and giving you realistic views of your home life, of your domestic life, of your private life, of the land, property, and real estate stories, and where you put your head at night, and with whom you put your head down with. And so Neptune's been trying to tell you for a few months now, like, it's time to get real, be realistic, look at what's really here. Is it what you want, or are you alone and lonely at home, Saturn? And so Venus is also getting her fill of what Neptune is trying to show her. What brings you true joy and pleasure and fun? What really lights you up? What makes you Venus, right? Is it time to really own that? Because there's certain hardships in the private life and home life that may not be your cup of tea, and you're just trying to make do. And so there's almost like a reckoning here with how you want to engage in people in your home and what you do at home. And I got the card for you, and who you want to be, a shiny, bright little fireball of Venus in the world. Adventuring in love, adventuring in creativity, adventuring in beauty. This is the Ace of Swords. This can be a conception, but it doesn't look like a conception chart, but she is trining the Chiron in the house of pregnancy. So yeah, if you're of a conception age, you might conceive, but it's also the Ace of Swords is new beginnings. What new beginnings do you want to make, especially regarding your home life? What's going on there? Are some of you wanting to move and you just haven't really given yourself permission? So think about it that way. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign. This guy says simply this: you love the beginning of this week. It's Sunday through to Tuesday. The sun shines in your 11th house of good spirit, and it is bringing you blessings in your 3rd house. Travel with friends, possibility of favors from people in high places who are acting like big bro and sisters, and allies and benefactors, solar energy up here, agreements, contracts coming from those people and flowing to Saturn, who's been stalling out in the house of short distance travel, but turning direct mid-November. Could be an early cue, but it is also the sun saying people in positions of authority can be your benefactors and allies Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And they can also offer you opportunities that involve learning and travel. And also connections to siblings as well, younger and older, can be very much a part of positive connections Sunday through to Tuesday. When we move forward into the sky and we go Thursday or Wednesday through Sunday, Venus begins to square Neptune. Venus is in the sign of your bed pleasures, your quiet private life, and what you do alone that brings you joy, pleasure, and creativity. But there is a square, and it's also sex bed pleasures, real bed pleasures. And it's also people in foreign places and foreign lands and foreign shores, and it squares Neptune in the house of travel. There may be some constriction or realism coming regarding travel or learning opportunities. The third house matters in connection with your romantic life. There may be some difficulty going on in your own self-undoing, self-sabotaging around alcohol or addictions, and you're really having to pull it back and look at it more squarely. Third house can also represent people like aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, and nephews that are really drawing your attention Wednesday through Sunday. And because the 12th house is far off foreign shores, and Mercury is a patron of protector of travelers, you may be traveling to see some extended family for some situation that needs a bit of a reality check and a letting go of sort of a fantastical notion of what really is happening there. Especially with a sibling one younger, but just the extended family belongs to the third house, and then you have the card of extreme pleasure, the 9 of cups. This is indulgence. This is like satiation in life's emotional and physical life, because you are emotionally satisfied by the pleasures of life. And maybe that's what Venus is doing in the house of self-undoing. How much is too much, right? And the land of sex, pleasure, and fun. When it undoes you, when it becomes a self-defeating strategy. Neptune is rolling back the tide. I think some of you might get a travel opportunity abroad, though. That's what this looks like as well for many of you. So, or some definitely travel opportunity involving foreign people may be emerging, in foreign women as well, emails, phone calls, and text messages as well coming through for those travel opportunities. If you make international borderless income and revenue, this could also be some reality check on how much money you can really make digitally or as a digital nomad or anything like that. The energy, yeah, that's good enough. I'm going to keep moving. I'm starving to death. All right, Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. I am one of you. So this is a sky that says to us today, I feel that really vulnerable, that I'm going to put out a Trump win Horary. It's not what I expected. It's a divination tool. Doesn't mean he'll be the president. He might get sick and die before then. And that's JD Vance. We'll address that if it comes. But it's going to be one of those elections where I now just went against all the other astrologers, including my own prior predictions on one Horary reading. That's crazy. So back to the story. Aquarius. Sunday through Tuesday, you're feeling strong. You're loving the vibe. Sun at the 10th house of career, top of the sky, shining brightly in your reputation space. And Juno, contracts, agreements, and all of that. New business deals can come through. And you're feeling good. And then, I got a song in my mind, you're feeling good. And then there's a trine from that sun to Saturn. It's good for money. It's good for your self-esteem and self-worth. It's good for your resources. Hopefully this is still playing out Tuesday. Maybe I called it right on Horary, but you're having a glow up. You're having a career glow up and a financial glow up that goes with it in the beginning of the week. But then later on, things get a little wobbly. This is Wednesday. This is Wednesday through Sunday, Venus. She's up here in your house of great career gains and the house of social groups of belonging, the sibling one older than you. And she's squaring Neptune in the money house. And there's some kind of like popping of a bubble or a bursting of a balloon around money matters and great career gains, around financial matters connected maybe to sibling one older, friends, allies, and benefactors who may be offering you everything. Because look at this, Mercury, negotiations, deal making, Athena, the lawyer. So there may be like a spectacular career offer coming your way. You're like, whoa, is this really happening to me? Should I sign on the dotted line? What do you mean you want me to be the next, whatever Madonna on the record label or something like that. And all of a sudden, there's this kind of need for a bit more reality checking going on as you sort of settle into something that looks like a career gain or a windfall or a career win. It could be a money windfall, but there is a need to look at it really with a words reality check or ditch the rose-colored glasses, because it's promises, 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 but the fog is rolling back. What is it you need to see? Neptune rules videography, filmography, YouTube, and TikTok, and all of that stuff. Venus is in the house of celebrity. Some of you here in the online world, like me, might get a bit of micro celebrity boost off of this, but at what cost? What is the square trying to teach you? What is it about that might feel difficult? And what card do you have about this? That support you. Fast moving developments, but two cards came up beside each other. Swift moving developments with the walk away emotions. Let it go, release, surrender, walk away. Do not be emotionally invested. It's the Eight of Cups. It's time to walk away from some emotional situation. But this is not a relational energy, really. The second house is a monetary energy. There are relational energies in the 11th house. Maybe a friend or an older sibling owes you money and you need to walk away from that and expect not to get it back. That would be an example of that kind of walking away. Okay. And the last and never least are the Pisces, sun, moon, and rising sign people. So I think I'm just going to shave my hair bald. Pisces, this is what you've got going. And that's because my hair is oily and I just had to get it off my face. You're going to feel Pisces, sun, moon, and rising. That this week starts off with a yay. It's going to be feeling Sunday through to Tuesday, the solar trine to Saturn. The Saturn in the house of you are the backbone, almost stationary Saturn. And you are going to be like feeling strong in yourself, sage-like, knowledgeable and wise. You got this. You've got you've gone through the melancholy. You've gone through the fear and anxiety already. You've been retrograding for a while since June. Now you're ready to turn it around. And as this week begins, Sunday through Tuesday, the sun shines from the house of God in its joy, house of its joy with Juno. Very positive developments regarding contracts or agreements to do with foreign shores, foreign travel, visas, long distance travel, higher educational colleges and campuses, and solar figures. Anyone you look up to like a father figure, and positive stories are vibing for you at the beginning of the week. And then we move forward. And also good things for legal outcomes with legal situations or bureaucratic situations, like where a bureaucracy is waiting to stamp something. It's been going through the red tape. Sunday through Tuesday, this is clearing and you're feeling good about it, ready to go forward with good results. And then we move into the next part of the sky, which is Wednesday through Sunday. And Venus gets into a square from Sagittarius in your 10th house of reputation and career to Neptune in the house of you. Now, you are the one pulling back the fog on your own misty fog machine delusions and confusions, uncertainty, and lack of realism. You're already pulling it back. And Saturn's helping you become real. Fantastical dreams with a real edge, And this is about opportunities connected to career, especially with Mercury, career negotiations, career contracts, career messaging, career deals. Venus, you're very popular in your career. You're either liking it, the boss loves you, the public likes you, you're getting a nice little public glow. But why are you also having to square away with what's realistic in your life regarding that part of your story? Mercury rules your marriage house and he's up here with Venus. And maybe it's not just because the house of weddings is a 10th house. Maybe it's not just about work. For some of you, you might really be coming to more realistic visions and understandings of the limits of an existing long-term love relationship. Okay. Or there's something about the path and the career path of your significant other, Mercury in the 10th house, that has to be looked at squarely because the dreamy eyeballed, this is a wonderful thing. Maybe that your partner gets a dreamy new career opportunity. Maybe you don't want it. Maybe it's not realistic for you. Maybe it's not the thing. You got to look at it more carefully, right? Jupiter in the 4th house can expand your home, change your home, move your home. He's about to go retrograde station direct in February. So is there an opportunity in a love partner's work situation that looks wonderful on the surface? And you might want to really look at it more closely, especially with this opposition to Jupiter in the 4th house. Will it disturb the domestic life? Does it involve a undesired relocation. And is it worth it? Those are possibilities. Okay. Those are possibilities. Thanks for listening. Wow. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, share this video. You guys know the drill. You know the drill. I'm wearing my lucky 4-leaf clover today. I just got this St. Patrick t-shirt. I got this at a thrift store locally. I just love the thrift store just down the street from me. All right, everyone it's really nice and cozy. Everyone take care. 2024 videos are out. If I forgot to draw a card for you guys, I'm so sorry. I know I forgot Gemini. So I think it was Gemini. The king, you're being the emperor of your kingdom. Did I forget Virgo too? I know I forgot Gemini. If I forgot Virgo, your card is the King of Cups. Lean into your emotional intelligence, the king within you that is creative, intuitive, and emotionally intelligent in all your decisions this week. All right. I'm going now to scout some wine out. I'm going to go take my my hunting bow and I'm going to go forage for the wine. I need a break. All right. Ciao, everyone. Take care.